Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. This is today's project. Oh my goodness, I went to the thrift store. Today, after I went to the bank, I decided to swing by the thrift store to see if I could find anything today. I found this box. It was full of these thank you cards with the envelopes. They were white, and yes, I came home and I coffee dyed them. So they were $1, and I have 25 envelopes and 25 thank you cards, plain inside. Oh, I think they're lovely. They're even a little bit embossed. So coffee dyeing them, letting them dry in the sun. Now, what to do with them? Finding something to do with the envelope isn't so much of an issue, but these right here, the thank you cards, I wanted to come up with some kind of ephemera that we can use these. So mine are folded. They're 5 inches by 3.5, and they open up just like this. And as you can see, I coffee dyed them completely. This is what I came up with. This is what we're going to make today. So let's begin. At the very beginning is always the best spot to begin. I've taken one of mine thank you cards and the second thank you card, and I want it to sit together like this. So the bottom, because this is the top, it says thank you. The bottom of this card and the top of this card, they're going to go together like this. And I want to put a notch right here just to say I'm a pocket. So let's go ahead and let's mark it so that we know about where the center is. And I have my 1.5 inch hole punch, and let's punch a hole, or a notch I should say, right there. And you know, I'm going to grab my frayed burlap and I'm going to ink this up. So I'm going to ink the other side of where this is going to be closed, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink my card. I want my pocket to be a top loading pocket. So I'm going to take my art glitter glue and I'm going to apply my glue on 3 of the sides. Just like that. Went off the rails just a little bit. Okay, let's pop this on. Just like this. Get that to glue down. Okay, so now we have a top loading pocket right here. I'd like to put a little decoration. I have a stencil, and I'm going to just use my frayed burlap, and I'm going to stencil this little image right here just by taking my sponge and going on top of my stencil. I'm just going to kind of twist it just a little bit. I just want a light image, something you can journal over. That's what I'm looking for. Let's lift it up and see how we did. Oh, that's really sweet. All right, so then let's talk about our cover. We want to cover this up. It says thank you, which is really nice, but that's not what we're going for. I have some journaling cards here, and they're of like a tea party. And I recently got these, and you would think I would know where I got them from, but I can't seem to find out where. And of course, they did not put their name on their product, which anyway, 2.5 inches by 4 1/4, something like that. But it fits on there so nicely, doesn't it? You're still going to see a little bit of the embossing right here. So once again, I'm going to ink up my little card just to give it a little color. Going to use my art glitter glue. You use the glue of your choice. And I'm going to glue this down onto my thank you card. So just like that. Just glue it right down. Wonderful. Alrighty, so it's going to open up like this. I'd like to take another image and I'm going to glue it right here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I did before. and I'm going to just ink it up a little bit with a little bit of my frayed burlap. Okay, a little bit of the art glitter glue. And we're going to place it right here. Lovely. Now let's talk about the inside. I've got two little cards, and these are about 1 3/4 by 2.5, something like that. And I'm going to ink it up. So maybe you don't have something like this. Maybe you're going to mount some magazine pages. That would work. So you don't have to have digitals to make this project. I'm going to only glue 2 sides. I'm going to pop it right down here, just like that, for a little tuck spot. And do the exact same thing over here. So I'm going to glue this side and the bottom. So adding my glue and then popping it. Whoop, I did it. Nope, I did it on the wrong side. Yikes, egads. So all we have to do is wipe it off. Yeah, I may be editing, but I still leave in the oopsie doopsies for your entertainment. Okay, so now let's put it on the correct side and let's pop it right on just like that. All right, so I've got a little scrap piece of coffee dyed paper. And I'm going to fold it, so we're just going to make a little booklet here. And my booklet is going to be, I think it's about 1.5 inches, something like that. Yeah, it's about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to trim it out. Then I'm going to fold it in half, give it a crease, and a little trim. And we're going to trim off that crease, or the fold, I should say. Trim the fold off. Then we're going to fold it again. And we're going to trim that fold off. We're going to do the exact same thing to this one. And we're going to fold that, trim that fold off. Okay, so now I have 4 pages. And I'm going to bring in my little stapler. I'm going to place these all together. Let's get this together first, and I'm actually going to trim a little as I go. It's not going to be like perfect, but it will be, yeah, that's going to look great. And I want to take the corners off. So here's 2 sheets. And I want to put too many in my corner rounder. It won't like it. And let's do this. Let's see if it'll take this many. It kind of did. All right. Now, remember that stencil that we had? Let's go ahead and let's stencil the front. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to decide this one's going to be my front. I'm just going to pop that stencil right on. I'm going to get my sponge and I'm going to color my sponge. That's very nice. All right, so now let's put it together. That's my front of my little booklet. A little bit of ink. And let's open it up. This is my Tim Holtz stapler. I really like the Tim Holtz stapler. Much better than a standard size. It doesn't bother me so much when I staple. I don't know what it is about me and staples, but I don't mind it when other people staple things, but I don't like it the way it looks when I do it. But this little tiny staple, yeah, it's super cute. Now, we're going to pop this right in here like this. And I'm going to make another one to go right here. I made my other booklet, and I have 2 labels here from Chapter 1 papers, and I'd like to add them onto my little pocket, little tuck spot right here. It'll just keep those little booklets in a little nicer, and it adds a little something something. So adding those right here. There we go. We need something in our pocket. I have another little journaling card that will fit nicely right in here, but it's going to need a tab. So I have some coffee dyed file folder right here, and I'm going to fold it, and then I'm going to put it into my little machine, and I'm going to punch out a tab and add it to the top. Whoa! It punched out all right. All right, so just adding a little bit of color, and then a little bit of color on the journaling card itself. And then we're going to pop that right there on the top. There we go. And this fits right here in our top loading pocket. I think I better open it up with my bone folder. There we go. That's going to sit in there nicely. Alrighty, now we're going to need a closure, aren't we? I have a standard size in my drawer here. I'm getting it out. A standard size hole punch. And I'm going to mark where the middle is, approximately about right there. I'm just checking that I need to move that out of the way. And let's punch a hole right there. All right, we've got our hole punched. Now I have my grommets. Now these are 3/16 inch grommet eyelet set, and I want a gold, and I'm going to get the back. So this is the back to the eyelet. I know a lot of people don't use these backs to these eyelets, but after a while your eyelet will come loose if it's not attached to a back. So first I'm placing this in, and then I'm going to place the back on. I'm going to get my little machine, and we're going to secure our eyelet together. So just punching it down. There we go. It's all placed in there. How about a little bit of decoration? I've got a little bit of lace here, and let's see, is that enough, or do I want a little bit more? What I have here to decorate is I have some lace, I have a satin bow, I have some flat back pearls, and I have a little rosette right here. Let's place our lace down first. I'm going to use my Surebonder high temp with that specialty tip, and I'm going to place it right there on the edge. I'm going to use my little silicone stick just to help me gather up that lace, maybe something like that. And then let's lay down our little bow. So we're layering up our pieces of decoration. Now the little rosette, and I'm going to press right there. I've got a larger pearl right here. I want to add it right in the middle. Oh, and it turned over. Of course it did. There we go, right in the middle. Now I'm going to cut this off just a little bit of extra. All right, so now I have another piece of lace, and I'm going to just kind of scrunch it on right down here. So, whoopsie, it keeps sticking to my fingers. Put it right there, like that. And then I'm going to add 3 of these smaller flat back pearls right here, kind of in a row. Okay, the glue is still wet. Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and let's tie this closed. I have some natural polished hemp, and I think this is just perfect for making this closure. So I'm going to place it right in our eyelet, and I'm going to go around a couple times and give it a tie. I'm going to tie a bow, and I'd like to finish off the bottom with a knot. Oh my goodness, now this is what we have made with our thank you cards. I think they're fantastic. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.